Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm eating.
I strong arm him because he's like, I'm eating, and I'm like, yeah, but what about that time I had a whole ass sandwich during the
Uh,
podcast? Or in fact, it was a couple times. I think when Cody was here, I'd had one too.
oh yeah.
But yeah, no. So we were just talking about something about you were saying something about Color Splash and your feelings on like games being the best 5 out of 10 you played or some shit.
So we were talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I love Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then we were talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X. And Xenoblade Chronicles X is the best 5 out of 10 I've ever played. But my biggest problem with X is that it's called Xenoblade Chronicles, which is my problem with Paper Mario Origami King, which is another 5 out of 10 game to me. Well, maybe a little higher than 5 out of 10 for Origami King, but, still average to me. And my biggest problem with Origami King is that it's called Paper Mario.
Yeah, I mean, my major issue with it is entirely tied to the fact that you can have a good game and have it not be like the previous games, right? You can have a good game in your series and have it up. It's Breath of the Wild is a perfect example. There's
So,
no actual dungeons in it, and it's a good game. It's open world. You can do a majority of things
So when I
in.
think of Legend of Zelda, I think of exploration, decent combat with some monsters, and doing puzzles inside some dungeon like environments. And Breath of the Wild has all that stuff though.
I gotta disagree with you here because I'll be real. Decent combat is not a Zelda thing.
Okay, what?
It's basic combat. It is the most basic combat. The only thing they added was the Z axis, and they just were like, "Hey, Z axis is combat," and that's it.
Okay, well, point
So
is the combat's relevantly same. I think Breath of the Wild though does what other Legend of Zelda games does, but it does it in a different way. That's why it could be both different but still feel like Legend of Zelda.
I no. See, I'll explain why. Because the colloquial understanding of Zelda is it is exploration, but it is dungeon exploration.
They still have that though with the shrines and
No,
stuff.
those
It's
are not
just
dungeons. Those aren't
scattered
dungeons.
up to the point that it's not quite the same.
It's not a dungeon. It's a shrine. There are an explicit difference between a dungeon, which you have multiple rooms that you have to go through
But
to
you know
get
what? One of the
to get
biggest complaints I hear
off.
about Breath of the Wild is that the dungeons are too short.
True, and I agree. But that doesn't make it bad. But I'm just noting it as a difference.
so,
See, that's the thing here is you're taking it as I'm saying it's one or the other because of the thing that's different. But I'm just noting that that's a difference. So it's different than the regular Zelda medium.
I'm
And
just saying, for me, the shrines could fill the same niche as the dungeons, even if they're not exactly the same.
well, I mean that's fine for you, but they are different,
And
and that's
I can totally hear the argument. So
well, I'm
that's
not
kind of
making.
where it gets a little muddied. This,
I'm just saying that's the
we're
point. Is they're different, and it still is a good game. That was the entire point here.
yeah.
Is because of all the differences in Zelda Breath of the Wild, which it flipped it on its head. Zelda is an exploratory game, but you can only explore what's on the rail system.
I don't know. Like,
You
what if somebody made a Final Fantasy, but without like the story being present? The story's all like off to the side, but still really fantastic story. Would it still be Final Fantasy? I don't know.
oh, I'm not saying it's not Zelda. So is that what you think I'm saying?
Well,
Because that
I'm just trying to think like, where's the difference? Because you were saying that Breath of the Wild is very different, whereas for me, I'm like, the things I like about Breath of the Wild kind of fit the same things I like about other
hold on,
Zeldas.
hold on.
So it's like,
I think you're having a deep misunderstanding of what I mean when I say that.
okay, yeah, okay,
I think that you're thinking that I mean because it's different, it's not a game in that series.
yeah.
And like, you know what? Let's be clear. When it's an established trope game, there are good games of that style, and then there are mold breakers that are not good games of that style, but good games of their own style. Breath of the Wild is its own style. It is an open world action adventure game with story to the side that you can do most anything you want. The difference here is it does not have the major rail system, the major boss designs, the
That was
difference
another
in
major complaint.
the point of what I'll say is this: the point of Calamity Ganon is the boss has already won. So who else would be the boss but the same guy who won?
But I don't know.
The
I
guy.
think to like Wind Waker, I'm like nobody complained when Wind Waker was open. Well, some people complained, but that was because it took a while to get to places, not because it was open world.
To progress in the game's gameplay, in
In the main story, it's a little linear, but
well, it's rails. You need to ride the rails in every Zelda game other than Breath of the Wild.
well,
Otherwise, you
the
get
first
other.
Zelda.
The first Zelda, I'll be clear, you could go no sword. That's cool. You could do variations, but to complete the game, there are only 2 steps. So what you're saying is right, but also irrelevant because there's so little to work with. Now, if you were to talk to me about Zelda 2, I would give you a maybe.
Zelda 2 is weird.
Zelda 2 is an abnormality. But the point here is Zelda 1 is irrelevant because of how little it actually exists within that world to deviate with. Because there's not a lot to do at all. Like, literally, on less than one hand, I could count the shit that you can do other than just follow the story.
Oh, yeah.
So, my point here is not that Zelda Breath of the Wild is a bad Zelda game, but that it's not a good old school Zelda game, like classic Zelda game, but it's a great new Zelda game.
I don't know.
Because different paradigm entirely now. Breath of the Wild is different than any other Zelda game that's come before it, and that's a good thing. They needed the shake-up. I'll be real.
I guess my point is that even though it is very different, it still scratches the exact same itches other Zelda games does. So for
and I'm
me,
not, it does.
my fun factor in my brain says it's not different at all, even though obviously there's a lot of differences.
And that's where we're deviating. See, I was gonna make a comparison earlier. Have you ever played Diablo 3 on PC and console?
No, I've never played it. I think I played a little Diablo at your house, but just that.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. Diablo 3, once Reaper of Souls came out, I should say, is a very tactical, thought-provoking, movement-based game. You don't have dodge rolls in it, so that's up your alley on PC, I guess. But a big thing about that is you need to think about what you do, what attacks you throw out, because you can't necessarily escape combat without an ability like teleport or flash step, which takes up a spell slot. So you need to think. I actually have no idea why you haven't played Diablo yet. It's very up your alley. The difference is on console, they added the dodge button. Because you're using a controller. You're using a controller, so you need it to be more accessible to console players. And it was a good choice because if they had just ported it as is, it'd be hard to digest.
Oh no, yeah, a lot of buttons do not work good on consoles.
Yeah. So my point here is Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls on console does not play like a good Diablo game, but it plays like a good game.
I think that's where I'd be like, well, this doesn't feel like a Diablo game if in that situation.
Which is fine.
I haven't played it.
So how to recognize on the side, it can be an okay game regardless. And that's my point of Xenoblade X, which is that even though it's a terrible Xenoblade game, because Xenoblade is considered up there, right, in terms of RPGs, around like Royal and shit, you gotta admit, if it's bad compared to that, it's not that bad. You're just comparing it to that.
So for me, there are two aspects to this. First of all, Xenoblade Chronicles X, to me, in terms of gameplay, still scratches a lot of the same itches as the original Xenoblade. Alright? Like, I know there are differences. The differences don't actually bother me about that game. The actual problems of the game bother me about that game.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a good Xenoblade game, even though the things that.
No, I don't think it's a good game in general.
I have to disagree. See, the thing is whenever I play it, I think of Xenoblade in the back of my mind, and that's the same thing you do. I guarantee you, it's not even a thing you can control.
And that's another thing. So how should I describe this? When I say my biggest problem with it is that it's a Xenoblade grade, is that I feel like to me it brings it from like what would be a 5 out of 10 game to like a 4 or 3 to me. It like brings it down to that. So when I said it was 5 out of 10 earlier, that was me trying to be objective. My unobjective part of my brain is like 4 or 3. Fuck it.
Here's me pulling out my. I'm a third party in this who recognizes the merits of the game series and doesn't have a vested interest. Right? This is me coming in on that. It's at best a 6 out of 10. Now, to be fair, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is a 10 out of 10. 2 is a 8 out of 10.
So I love those games more for the story and general exploration than actual gameplay.
I hate 2's story so much. It's literally the waifu wars.
It is at the very beginning, but as it goes, it gets so much better. And I've heard that complaint about Xenoblade. I'm not disqualifying that argument that it gets good later is not a problem.
Clear, the first one does not have that problem nearly as much, not even barely as much, because like it's one of those things where they don't develop your waifus first, and then build you into your character. They build you into your character immediately. Shulk gets his backstory right there, done. He gets a life that he built up that gets torn apart.
And yeah, that's what Xenoblade does better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's not just the story. In Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the gameplay doesn't even really come in until you start getting like the fusion combos and stuff. And then it really like gets better than Xenoblade 1. And it's like that's why it's hard to like recommend Xenoblade 2 to people. Is like you just gotta get through the beginning, and then it's a fantastic game that you'll love.
It's
I don't mind the waifu wars, as long as they're decent characters. I'm trying to think of an
anime comparison I could make, because I know what Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is in terms of anime in my mind, but Xenoblade Chronicles 1 it'd be like comparing Cowboy Bebop to High School DxD.
Okay, that's a little harsh.
Yeah, it's true. You can see that
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 isn't nearly as bad as High School DxD.
Well, High School DxD is a good one. That's why I'm giving you that one.
No, I meant like in terms of waifu wars.
It's
more like Fate. More like Fate.
Xenoblade Chronicles 1, in terms relative to that, yes, and it's not Fate. Hell no.
No, Xeno 2 is Fate.
You wish it was Fate. No.
Oh, yeah.
No. They neither of those games could spit on Fate and see it.
Well, maybe not the original Fate, but maybe one of those side-ups that's a little trashy.
Always just Fate. I'm just like, no, that's way too complex for any of those games to comprehend. No. That's the most complex anime series out there. Yeah. Next to, like, Dot Hack Summon.
I don't know, I haven't actually watched Fate in a long-ass time, so...
Dude, literally every single one of their stories is connected to each other. And they all have circumventing and contradictory facts in them.
Okay, well, that's true for Xenoblade Chronicles, so... it's like...
No, not in that way. You wish. No. I played it. I know better. No, I watched all of it. Hell no.
By the way, did you know the original Fate's a porn game?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
That's not...
I bring that up to Fate fans all the time. They're like, what? I'm surprised how few people actually know that.
Yeah, it's good. I love it.
I know. It's great. It's just... when everybody's like, oh, my waifus are trashy, I'm like, it literally started as porn. And they're like, what?
Well, hold on. That doesn't make them trashy.
I know it doesn't make it as trashy, but it's still fun to bring up.
Yeah, I just have to make sure you know. Like, I don't make...
Listen, when you're trolling people online...
Orochi's a badass... I don't know. Orochi's a badass motherfucker. Or was it Medusa? Medusa, yeah. Medusa's design is awesome. Have you ever seen Medusa from that series?
No.
Oh my god, you got the... So you know that... You know the eye of truth from Zelda?
Yeah?
She ripped that whole motif and that's her eyes.
Hold on, look up Fate Medusa. Hey, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks good, right? They got some great designs in that series.
Oh, yeah.
Is what else? And the story, when you can disseminate it, is great.
And they got some great designs in Xenoblade Chronicles 2!
No. I'll be real. They're just random bitches with anime hair.
Oh no, there are those two.
Rex looks good, and that's it.
I like Morag.
Nope.
Oh, okay, well, fine.
The only issue here is Rex follows the motif that Chronicles 1 built up, which is tech punk. I like that. It's different. That's something that's unique to the world. But all the other characters do not follow tech punk. In fact, they just do basic magical girl transformation stuff.
So the thing about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is all of the characters are literally designed by different people.
Which is depressing.
I actually
Because
think it's hilarious.
you'd think with different people they'd have different design.
There are a lot of different designs.
Not really.
Have you seen
Like-
Jin? That guy is fucking Final Fantasy as shit.
Yeah, that's my point. Like Final Fantasy is a basic design system too.
Alright, well,
It is.
you need to
Tell me.
differentiate your anime design systems then.
No. What I'm looking at is this. If you want to see a unique design in Final Fantasy, give me something that's unique. Seymour Guado.
Oh, yeah. So, wait, did you
Right?
just say Seymour? That guy's the most Sephiroth-looking motherfucker in Final Fantasy who
Yeah.
isn't Sephiroth.
He looks like a goofy Kefka wannabe.
He looks like Sephiroth and Capcom fucked and had a child.
He does not look like Sephiroth at all.
He
In fact,
totally
Sephiroth.
When I first saw Seymour, I was like, that guy looks like fucking Sephiroth.
It's because he has a pretty face, Jesse, and you
Yeah.
signed up to just having a pretty face.
He's
Guess
tall,
what?
pretty face, has long flowing robes and long hair. Yeah, he looks like fucking Sephiroth.
Sephiroth didn't have long robes. Sephiroth had a jacket, you weep.
Oh,
Sephiroth-
I'm sorry. There's a big difference between long flowing robes and long flowing jackets. Sorry.
No, because Sephiroth didn't have a flowing robe.
They're pretty
And
flowy.
He didn't have a flowing jacket. He just had a regular ass jacket. It had long coattails, but it didn't hang to the floor.
Yeah.
So that's completely different. Also, hair is completely
I think you're
different.
nitpicking there. you're
not.
nitpicking.
I'm just pointing out that your comparison is false.
Mhm.
Your comparison is false. Like Seymour Guado's only real comparison to Sephiroth is his face is pretty.
Oh, I'm sorry. Their faces look similar. It's not like that's the most important part of looking similar to people.
That's similar. Their face doesn't even look that similar.
They look
Look at
pretty
them
similar.
side to side. Like one of them just looks, oh, I'm so gentle and kind, and one looks super fucking intense.
I don't know. You're not convincing me with this anymore. Find a different argument.
I don't know, man. You have to convince me. You're the one who made the claim.
Listen, you're the one who was trying. What we were talking about? I totally lost track of what we were talking.
Guado has a solid design, but the problem
Oh right,
is
different designing characters. You're gonna have
Right,
to.
but-
You're the one trying to argue that different characters look different. I'm like, they don't look different to me.
No. You made the claim that Sephiroth and Guado look the same.
They look the
Make
same to me.
it-
I made my arguments why I think they look the same. So
Okay,
you
so-
know what? If you don't want to accept my arguments, that's fine. But I don't. I still think they look the same.
Okay, what about the hair? Why is the hair the same?
Very long.
That is a really
Like
bad argument.
absurdly long.
It's not even long. It's just displaced. It's not even long hair. That's a really bad argument. I'm sorry. Like the top of his head is actually really relatively like short compared to Sephi's, but like the rest of it is just displaced hair. That's his whole design. Is
Yeah.
It's literally he has antennas. It's completely different. It's not just completely different. That's a completely different design concept. That's like saying Goku looks like Piccolo because they both have long stuff on their head.
No, his hair is going down past his shoulders. That is long hair, my dude.
Yeah, what about the antenna? The very, very pronounced antenna that everybody notices, and nobody notices the long hair until people mention it. What about that? Why are we not mentioning that? Is it because perchance that's the thing that people notice when they see him? That's the thing that people notice when they see him. No, Seymour Guado is a very different looking character. He's also got the Guado physiology going on too, which makes him look very different. He's a lot more bulky in appearance than
I don't know.
Sephiroth.
I just got the feeling. Anyways, Point being, you're not convincing me on this one. Like, not at all.
I mean, the bottom line is Final Fantasy characters like Seymour Guado had good designs. Let's be clear. He had new ones every fucking turn he came up.
Yeah.
That's a good example. Or if you want to talk about good Final Fantasy designs, you got to think of like Gilgamesh. Like, you can't not think of Gilgamesh. He's had so many different styles of his design, but it's always been relatively the same. But the bottom line is, like, Final Fantasy can have good designs, but the big thing is they're very samey if you look at them back to back to back.
Yeah.
With very few outliers, like Titus looking different because it was the start of the 2000s, obviously, and they were in that cool mood mode, and so he looked kind of more modern-esque.
Oh no. Literally,
not
the guy before him was a blonde, annoying motherfucker. I know they're very different, but still.
One's a monkey. I mean,
Okay, have you seen the way Titus moves? He is a monkey too.
he's not a monkey. He's a fish. It's different.
It's different. Oh yeah.
But no, a big thing about like 12's designs, I hated most of them except for Balthier's. Because Balthier looked literally like he was a constable or something and looked great with the art style that they had. But like 12, like Vaughn's costume looked awful.
I liked how Bosch, he looked pretty cool most of the time.
Bosch looked okay. Bosch looked basic.
He was basic. I am a part of that theory that he was supposed to be the main character when they were originally doing this.
I believe it should have been Balthier. Because the next game was leading into Vaughn taking over Balthier's role. So it would have made more sense for it to follow Balthier.
One of those two.
Right?
I don't care.
But Ash is interesting to watch, but like for a little bit. Like, she's not that interesting, and I'm more interested in seeing Vaughn and Pinello follow in Fran and Balthier's footsteps.
Oh yeah.
That's a much more interesting game to me.
Of course, but no, we were talking about thirsty characters. There's Fran.
Yeah. They know what they did.
Oh yeah. They made a whole race of that specifically.
Walk around with it. And they added a zoom in button in the Zodiac game.
Oh yeah. Oh, there are males of that species. You'll just never see them.
Oh, it's because they're stuck in their quarters, probably making more babies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But no, I do not think Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had very great character design at all. I think a lot of it was just a lot of samey shit unless you're a protag. And even then, a lot of the protags follow a lot of anime tropes in terms of design. Or a villain, sorry. And villains also follow a lot of anime tropes. And that's an issue that is easily circumventable. If Xenoblade Chronicle 1 was able to relatively do it, basically, if Persona 5 Royal was able to do it, well, Persona 5 Royal is an outlier because they make things look crazy on purpose.
Sorry, what were you talking about? I spaced out for a sec.
Oh my god. I was saying, but yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has a little bit of rough character design. They tend to follow a lot of anime tropes with their character designs.
I don't mind that. That's whatever.
My issue with it is they get too comparable to other things, and it makes it so that I'm not thinking of, oh, that was a great design for the character when I look at the character. Because like
I think it's kind of fun because you got all these different artists, so it's kind of fun like being like, okay, so who drew this? Can I guess this?
I get that argument for something like Star Wars Visions, though, right? Because like it's different enough. Yeah, but in this, it's not that different. So like, why would I want to guess? It would be too close. Because they're too close. As I was saying, it's not like Persona 5 Royal where it's like everything is drawn exponentially crazy on purpose. Things are drawn very controlled. And even if they had a bunch of artists, I can almost guarantee you they're like, all right, you need to stay within these parameters. You cannot do this, this, or this when they were doing it, so that they couldn't have and express their creative liberties with these characters like they would have wanted to, I bet you.
Are you sure? There's some weird ones.
Jesse,
What?
every game has a weird one or two. But I'll be real. From the look of most of the characters that you see on a constant basis, they didn't really get to express themselves that much, and that's a little disappointing.
Alright.
But Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is looking a little better than that.
I am playing through Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah, it's looking a little better in that department. Now, to be fair, Star Ocean's new game is coming out too, and I'm interested in that just as much. Because Star Ocean paved the way for Chronicles. Star Ocean actually inspired a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles style.
My problem with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is really good. And they're doing a really good job making this not a problem. But I was kind of having this problem at the very beginning of the game where all 6 of your main characters come from the exact same background. So it's like kind of hard to differentiate them. They
I feel that.
do a lot better as the story goes, having each character like deal with different problems in the story differently, and stuff like that. But at the very beginning, it's like they're all soldiers and they're all bred to die. And it's like, okay, well, same backstories.
No, I mean, yeah, it's the same backstory from that point. Yeah, I mean, a big thing for me is I'm always curious where a character comes from, but I never get to like see where they're going without.
I think that's the big thing about this plot, though, is that like where they go and how they deal with everything is a very big thing. And I think another thing is you'll get a lot of side plots where you deal with colonies, and they have like their own like full voice acted cutscenes with FMVs and shit. Not FMVs, but like actual like cutscenes and shit for side quests, and like each side quest stars a different character, like.
Right, so, and that you know what? That's what Final Fantasy 15 should have just included in their game, because those side quests in 15 were good.
Oh yeah, if someone else took the reins every once in a while, it'd be amazing.
Would be, because like I'll be real, I love the buddy trip adventure thing of that game. That
and
feels.
You know what? If Krillin and Gohan actually took out some of the Ginyu Force by themselves without Goku coming in and saving their ass, it would have been great.
It would have been nice if they took on Raccoon, and then Vegeta and them took on Jace and Berter, and they couldn't deal with them both.
Yeah. It would have been, but they didn't. Sorry.
No.
I was just like, that's relevant to this conversation. I'm going to say it.
I mean, if you want to go down that road, I can give you a list.
Oh, I know. Oh my god, what was the worst one I've seen? They started the anime. It was the webtoon Noblesse. Have you ever read that webtoon?
I don't think I've seen read Noblesse, no.
Okay, well, they started the anime. That has the worst Goku comes and saves the day syndrome I have ever seen. Like, literally every situation starts with every side character getting their asses kicked by the weakest member of a group of, like, 10. And then the main character comes in and wipes out the other 10. And it's like, wow.
They just lowered the price of Dragon Ball Z The Breakers by $10.
That's weird.
You can get the special edition for $30.
Well, I mean, I'm getting it. I mean...
Fuck yeah.
I've seen the gameplay. It seems fun as shit.
Yeah, no.
Maybe not super deep, but it's like, yeah, whatever.
You know, I'd walk around and sell, I can touch your skin.
Touch your skin. I drink people.
But yeah, no, Anos Voldigoat is a very good example of a savior complex in a character.
That's oh my god.
That's the Demon King at high school or whatever.
Oh right.
Yeah, and if you read his light novel, Dear Lord, he has an ability where if he takes 7 steps, the universe collapses.
Oh my god.
apparently, I don't know, man. He's a multiversal threat in his light novel on accident because he has so much magical power. Literally, he can't die the same way twice, and he can reincarnate himself eventually. And he reincarnated himself from the only way he could die, so he can no longer die. And
Yeah.
that's the start of the show.
And of course, there's
Dude,
One Punch Man, which makes a fun joke about it.
well, yeah, and I'll be real. People are kind of ruining it with the Gato fight. They brought Gato back.
Eh.
Well, like Gato in his first big fight with Saitama was weaker than Boros. Like I'm gonna be clear, his first fight with Saitama, he was weaker than Boros.
His first fight with Saitama, he got knocked out and thrown in the trash.
That's not, that was the Shinadi and Saitama counter. That was it. The real fight I'm gonna have to come today. That was their first
I
real
haven't
fight.
gone past what the anime shown, so just I'm gonna end this conversation right now. Oh, I hear it.
Oh, you're gonna be surprised at what happened.
Oh, sorry. Does Saitama one punch him?
Duh, you idiot.
Sorry, I forgot what we were talking about for a second there.
Yeah, like, does it really matter? I'm not telling you what happened.
Sorry, I forgot it's One Punch Man. The results
Yeah,
don't
like,
actually fucking matter.
I can spoil for you because it's not really a spoiler. It's just, yeah, it happened again. Duh.
It's One
Duh.
Punch Man.
Like, I'm not
Of
telling you
course.
anything else with any of the other characters. I'm just telling you what happens to One Punch Man in his fight with him.
What
Because
happens in One Punch Man? Does he one punch someone?
like straight up, based on what I see with him, he's weaker than Boros. Because Boros has that star collapsing cannon and that regeneration. That wins the day, I'd say.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, man. The animation, I hope, is going to be really good when they.
Sorry, we were just talking about webtoons. Tower of God got its second season announced.
I don't give a shit. It's
I know.
it's the issue with Tower of God is it gets so up its own ass sometimes it doesn't know how to tell its story straight.
It
Like,
is
I read-
a very messy story.
Yeah, like it's a good story and concept, but like the execution, they take so much time up with just trivial bullshit sometimes.
I don't mind that. My problem is sometimes when the action gets going, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. It gets so messy.
I agree. Solo leveling's coming. I'm excited for that. Solo leveling is going to be really good. Hello?
Yeah. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah. I'm sure it will be. My brain is
Yeah.
like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Just
Brain was
agreeing
like,
with Joey.
Like, you know, that's not content. Say something I disagree with, Joey.
Yeah, okay,
So what came out recently? Digimon Survive came out recently.
That is on the next paycheck. That one's on the next paycheck.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm keeping an eye on it.
A lot of people are saying the story of that one's actually really, really good. So I'm like, ooh.
It's always better than Pokemon's story, dude. Cyber Sleuth was better than Pokemon's. It was literally just Pokemon Final Fantasy.
I played Cyber Sleuth. Cyber Sleuth was pretty good.
Yeah, no, like the 1 and 2, and then the fact that they were like parallel to each other in terms of story arcs, that was really cool. They didn't try to make a sequel to it or anything. They just made one that played alongside the other one.
Yeah.
No, Digimon consistently has better stories. Even the bad games, they have good stories.
Well, I think that's because Digimon actually tries with their stories. I don't think Pokemon has really tried in a while.
Digimon will murder you.
Like, I feel like Pokemon's, like, afraid to make Pokemon seem bad in any way whatsoever. It's
well,
like...
yeah, I mean, the first one they did Mewtwo, and the whole thing was be scared of Mewtwo, he's gonna kill you, and then he doesn't, right? The next one is Lugia. Lugia's scary, he's gonna kill you, he doesn't. And the next one's Entei. Entei's scary, he's gonna kill you, no, he doesn't. Well, he almost does, but he doesn't.
Well, I think to, like, Pokemon Black and White, too, there's a scene where the villain tries to freeze you to death, and I'm like, alright, why don't we get more of that? Someone use a Pokemon for actual fucking evil.
Because they peaked.
I know.
Let's be clear here. The Pokemon Company, the ones that you were excited were making Little Town Hero, or whatever the fuck it was.
I heard it was trash,
They
but
don't
the
know how to
music
make.
was good because Toby Fox did it.
They don't know how to make games.
Ugh.
They know how to make Pokemon games. They know how to mix the formula. See, Scarlet and Violet look great.
Oh yeah.
They look really, really good. And I'm excited, and I hope the story goes well. And everyone's memeing about it, but I'm actually excited to be able to ride my legendaries as a motorcycle. I think that's fun and funny.
I kind of don't like. Okay, so I have this weird thing. When they were standing still, I like the red one a lot more than the purple one because I thought the purple one looked really stupid. But once they actually like start riding one, I'm like, why does the red one have wheels if he's just gonna run?
Because
That's bothering the crap out of me.
I don't mind. Maybe you can switch between modes.
Maybe, or maybe it's Pokemon doing something stupid. That's a
Well, but
very real possibility.
that's something I'd say is stupid in an endearing way to me.
I don't know.
That's something that would be stupid in an endearing way to me, honestly. Yeah.
I don't know. Them having wheels and being motorcycles in general was stupid in an endearing way to me.
Oh, I was looking up if Digimon Survive got any reviews. Kotaku's talking shit. They're like, it's painfully boring.
Kotaku doesn't know fun.
Well, Kotaku's issue is like it depends on who's writing it. Who's writing it? Because I know who I have on my shit list. Isaiah Colbert talks shit about a lot of different types of tactical RPGs because he assumes they all need to be like Command and Conquer.
Oh, hold on. I gotta drop my thing. Hard West 2 just came out. That is a really good XCOM like. Well, at least the first one was. I haven't played the second one, but I hear the second one's good too.
I used to play XCOM likes for a little while because of what they did to my boy Marvel.
Marvel.
They should never have touched Midnight Suns. And
Oh,
they
hold
know
on.
what they.
Other recommendation. I did a 6-episode Let's Play of this. I do Troubleshooter too. Troubleshooter too.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing a couple people play that.
I have seen like nobody play that.
I've seen a couple.
A lot of people need to play that. That game is way bigger and better than people probably think it is. just looking at it, it kind of has that like it's a little slow at the beginning, but once it starts expanding, it's like holy shit, this game is massive. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm gonna sneeze.
We were on. Oh, Joey, no, we're doing a podcast. You can't leave.
No, I'm not leaving. I had to sneeze, so I muted.
Oh, well, you could have sneezed in the mic. That would have been hilarious.
No, I refuse.
You refuse.
I refuse. But no. So Patricia Hernandez is probably my least favorite Kotaku article writer. For a couple reasons. She wrote 2 articles that I have very, very big contention with. The first one, right?
See, I don't.
Fury is a bad game because easy mode doesn't give you all of the story.
That's a weird thing for a game to do, but
I mean, the point of Fury is that it's meant to be a tactical based control, it's a hard game. It's one of the hard game style games. And so you're supposed to learn how to play it through easy mode and then build yourself up to normal.
Fair.
Because it doesn't want you to just rest on easy mode, which is fine. And
I
it's
just have flashbacks to me playing Castlevania 64 on easy mode, going through the hardest part of the game, and then the game being like, haha, play through it again on normal.
Well, that's its fault for being a bad game that you had to play through multiple times. Because that game wasn't good.
I know. Just
Fury
younger Jesse.
not only controls buttery smooth and looks great because it's penned, it's artist by the guy who drew Afro Samurai, but it's voice acted super well and the story's great. So there's a thing to build you into it.
Well, I think it also helps that Fury is not actually that long of a game either. So
no, so just do it. They literally start you back at the boss you died at. Just learn the boss's patterns.
That does remind me of the guy, that one reporter who gave Cuphead a bad review because he couldn't get past the tutorial.
Well, I mean,
famous.
The other one I didn't like is Bulma. She claimed Bulma is the strongest character in Dragon Ball because she can make a time machine.
There's somebody who could literally stop time. You know what? Fine, whatever.
Goku broke through a time stop.
Yeah.
In fact, that was what had recently happened. The tournament the tournament power saga, or not tournament power, the 6 versus 7 tournament was going on, and Goku had just used Kaioken, Super Saiyan Blue, to break through the time stop.
Listen, if given enough time and resources, I could probably believe that Bulma could make a device that could severely harm Goku.
Nope.
Maybe not defeat him, but probably harm him.
You know why that's untrue?
Why?
Because the future timeline, she sure didn't.
Okay, fair enough.
And that Goku was way weaker than current Goku at his start.
Fair enough. Never mind. No Batmaning a victory on that one.
No Batman a victory on that one. The best she could hope for was Galactic Patrol, which she was offered a role in, which is a nice little piece of backstory for her. Jocko met her as a 6-year-old girl, and she made a gun that blew up a ship.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe at this point she could kill base form Frieza back at Namek Saga.
What I'll say is, in terms of destructive capabilities, she could probably kill somebody who was in the millions, but not the 100 million.
Yeah, probably.
So she could kill probably Goku during the Frieza saga before he turned Super Saiyan, and that's her peak. Because Goku during the Frieza saga before he turned Super Saiyan, peak was 60 million.
Excuse me, Goku got shot by a laser gun.
They actually explained that. They explained all that shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a reason why people can get hurt like that, because Goku got hit with a bullet when he was a kid and just brushed it off. So Goku and Ko need to channel their ki to be able to deflect things.
Oh yeah, they gotta actually be focusing and like putting the guard up.
Yeah, it's the entire reason Goku was able to basically deflect off the bullet, because he was always in a constant state of because he lived in the wilderness.
Yeah, and then we chastised him for not putting his guard down. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Right,
So that's yeah. I mean, it makes sense and it's stupid. I think it's both things.
I mean, that's Dragon Ball in a nutshell. Let's face it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot by itself, I can tell you what the game should have been. Do you want to hear what the game should have been?
Yeah.
Okay. It should have been all the way from Dragon Ball all the way through the Buu saga, right? With all the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z movies attached to it. And it should have touched Goku's story through Dragon Ball all the way through Dragon Ball Z, and it's Gohan's story starting in Dragon Ball Z as well. And it touched Goku and Gohan's stories. That would have been good.
That would have been good.
But
if Gohan was ever actually the main character.
Well, I mean, they're trying to make him the main character again now. That's what the point of the movie is.
That's good. That's a shame you can't go see it with me.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'll probably just figure out a way to watch it regardless.
You could watch it on the big screen and be blinded.
But that's the problem. Yeah, and I'll be blinded. That's the problem. I don't want to be, because my orange boy is there.
Just wear sunglasses indoors, Joey.
That is... Hell no. You have no idea how bad that feels.
How bad that feels. You'd be too distracted by how douchey you look.
No, it's just... God, it's hard to see anything.
Well, okay, you don't have to put on the sunglasses until the movie starts. Jeez.
You're really trying to get me to see this movie.
I want to go see the movie with you.
It's really nice of you. I appreciate that. If I was able to, I definitely would come with.
I know. It's just, now I have to go see the movie by myself, and it's always so awkward sitting in a movie theater by yourself.
Why? Dragon Ball Z movie. Everyone's there.
Listen, I thought the same thing with the Demon Slayer movie. It did not
Demon Slayer's different. Demon Slayer gets you pussy.
I know, but still. What, Dragon Ball Z does? No.
No, it's not. Nope.
Nope.
No. That's sad. Nope.
No.
No, that is not where Dragon Ball Z falls.
I know.
Well,
Oh, but so is Gohan. I'm sure he totally attracts the pussy.
dude, he did actually, which is really weird because he was 17 in that show when like that blonde-haired girl was coming on to him really hard. And I'm like, calm down. It's not uncommon for high schoolers, but calm down.
Do it. I do have to remind everyone that Piccolo's only like 6 years older than him.
It's 7.
7, sorry.
Um,
He ain't Daddy Piccolo, he's Big Bro Piccolo. Goku
be
did that thing
fair-
where he put the older brother in charge of the younger brother.
I mean, to be fair, Piccolo inherited the age of Demon King Piccolo, and the same thing. Demon King Piccolo inherits the age of the nameless Namek.
Oh, I know. It's just, he's a different person.
Well, and Piccolo
If
will
he
live
was the
for.
exact same person, I'd accept that argument, but he's still a different person.
This is something you need to keep in mind too. Piccolo will never die of
Oh,
natural causes because he inherited the eternal youth wish from the Dragon Ball. That's canon.
Oh, that's why he's not an old man yet?
He will never age.
Yeah,
He will be in his 20s physically forever.
neato.
Yep. Which makes him one of the scariest motherfuckers in the verse because nobody else is going to be able to take that. Because the only other one that had that got yeeted out of existence by a god of destruction.
Yeet.
Now, what I'm curious about is why the fuck has it taken them so long to realize, oh, hey, Piccolo's fused with 2 people. He'd have a lot of potential to unlock.
He's fused with 3. Oh, no, sorry. 2 other people. I was like,
Yeah.
he's 3 people, not 2. Oh, no, wait, yeah. That's what you
He
meant.
is- But yeah, no, like why has it taken them so long to unlock his potential? You know?
He don't need his potential unlocked by other people. He can
does.
do it himself.
No.
He has God with him.
Well, let's be clear here. His ability to train is far and beyond way better than any Saiyan because Saiyans basically have to train with other Saiyans and bank Zenkais.
Saiyans
Piccolo, Piccolo
trained
can-
by beating the shit out of each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Piccolo trains by beating the shit out of himself. He can train by himself because he can do the multiform technique.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the multiform technique is way better than Tien's because it doesn't split his power. It's another thing that he doesn't do often that he should do more often. But
I don't
even
know, it seems
before
pretty painful whenever the villains beat them up, so maybe he just doesn't like it.
well, I mean, knowing his personality, he shouldn't give a shit.
I mean, yeah, but it depends on how. I guess it depends on how much more painful.
Here, I'll give you something here. So he didn't he showed it before he fought Frieza on Namek. If he had done that against Frieza on Namek, he would have killed Frieza on Namek immediately.
I suppose.
Because he was at the same strength with more speed than Frieza in his second form.
And if Krillin managed to hint his Destructo disc, he would have killed Frieza too.
That's true, but Krillin had not mastered the technique yet to the level that we understand today.
Yeah.
But the point is, Piccolo had mastered the multiform technique. He did. So he literally could have just been like, another friend, killed Frieza, be done with it. All he'd have to do is hold Frieza in place as one of them, take the hits, charge a special beam cannon, kill his clone. Done. Done. He could have done it with Dr. Gero. Could have stopped Dr. Gero from activating the androids. Because he was able to take on Dr. Gero, but he wasn't able to see Dr. Gero after he blinded him. If there were 2 of them, the other one wouldn't have been blinded, would have killed Dr. Gero. I don't know. It's a lot of these instances where what ifs happen with these characters. If Piccolo would learn Kaioken at any point in the story, he could take on a lot of the big bads.
Oh yeah. I don't know why the other people didn't. They all went to Kai's planet, and Kai didn't teach them shit.
Well, Yamcha didn't learn it because he doesn't like pain. That's understood. Krillin didn't learn it because his biology, I think, is a little bit too small. I'm not sure. I have no idea why Tien didn't learn it. That actually is a waste to me. Tien should have learned that there. 100%.
Oh, that is a totally a Tien move. His Kiko man is all about that. Exactly that.
I mean, like, that's the entire point, is like just pouring out his power. It'd be great. But
I suppose he already has a technique for that, I suppose, but still.
not really. Tien doesn't really have any techniques after like what he got in Dragon Ball. He never learned anything new.
Eh.
That's the
I
thing
meant for
is
pouring out all of his power.
well, that's different.
I
See,
know.
that's throwing it. Kaioken doesn't take your power; it forces your power to go up.
Okay, here's a question: how come Goku has never taught the Spirit Bomb to Gohan?
I don't think Goku can teach it. I think Kinkai has to teach it. But at the same time, why hasn't Goku sent him to Kinkai? Because
I don't
Kami
think
or
he
Dende.
wants to kill his son.
No. What I was gonna say is Kami or Dende are able to send you there.
I know he does. He
Or Goku.
can teleport there.
Yeah, Goku instant transmission.
I know, it's just the way you said that. I was like, I don't know if he wants to kill Gohan.
I mean, it's sometimes, but
I don't know. Gohan's never died. Be good character building for him.
yeah, he's not.
Kill him.
It has, like, I believe Goten and Trunks have died. Both versions of Trunks. Vegeta, Goku, Piccolo, Krillin.
I mean, does
Tien.
getting absorbed into Boo count? I don't think it really does.
Well, no, they got destroyed when Kid Buu destroyed the planet.
I guess he has died then.
Yeah, like everybody has died at least once.
Except for Hercule.
No, Hercule has never died.
Mr. Satan's the only person on Earth who's never died.
Satan in hell. That's right. But yeah, no, fucking, it's insane, honestly, because like literally every character in the series has died, except for no, 18's died.
Yeah.
And she has a soul too.
Yeah. I mean, she was human, so.
I mean, that's fair.
Unlike 16, who was never human, and thus has no soul.
Yeah, that's what that one hit a little harder than all the other deaths because of that.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
real. They didn't have to make a blood splatter with it too. Like, why is his oil blood colored? For effect.
Okay, to be fair, I could totally see Jiro doing something like that.
It's his son, though. You know that? That's his son.
I know, but, make him as realistic as possible.
Anatomically correct son have a weenie.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, Dragon Ball's got one of those things going. It's just, I don't know. It's got so many what ifs. Like, what if they had kept Vegeta's character arc going after where it was at the end of Z, which was let go of that of the useless pride, keep the useful pride, and move forward as a more friendly, non-douchey individual. Because everyone's like, oh, but it makes him badass. No, it makes him look like a fool.
Makes him an idiot.
Well, because he keeps getting his ass kicked after he says some stupid shit.
Yeah, you saw what happened with 18, broke his arm. Saw what happened with Cell, kicked his ass.
Well, here the whole point is he's worse than his father because he never learned to bend the knee. And like I'm not saying bend the knee as in give up. I'm saying bend the knee as in know when he can't fight that battle.
Yeah.
But he can help to do it. That's to be better than his father. But at this point, he is worse than his father. He's just more powerful than him.
I mean, I feel like he's at least learned like enough humility to not go charging off on his own like that.
Huh? His new technique.
Oh, never mind then. I haven't read that far.
That's all.
All right.
But
Look,
no,
his character arc in Super is sliding backwards.
that was what it did, and then it comes back to where it was at the end of Z again.
Oh, jeez.
So upsetting. And they bastardized.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Can I rip a Band-Aid off before you get to it so it doesn't hurt as bad?
No, no, no. You know me. I gotta feel the pain.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. Like,
Yeah,
this is like One Piece spoilers where it would hurt you to know because you want to see it. This is something that you don't want to know.
listen. I buy every Sonic game, even if I know it's gonna be bad.
All right. Start reading the manga then.
Yeah, I gotta feel the pain.
They fudged it pretty bad.
Oh. All right. Well, anyways, I think that's enough talking. My voice hurts. It's getting late.
Yeah, all right.
All right. I hope y'all had fun.
Peace.
Peace.